Fundamentally, all you do in survival Minecraft is move blocks from place A to place B. All that changes to make the game interesting is how difficult that can be. However, in creative, you have access to every single block in one menu, so there's no challenge to gathering all of them because they're all right there. Except, of course, for the blocks which are only available through the /give command, notably the command block and the other weird technical blocks, but outside of that, every block is available, you would think. But today, you're gonna see me disprove that with some blocks and items you probably already knew existed and just didn't know weren't in creative, some which you might have thought about, and some which you definitely did not, because they're weird permutations that no one really ever considers, but they definitely all exist in creative Minecraft. And I want to quickly mention that if you subscribe to the channel, it is a great way to show your support, but also guarantee that you'll see more of these great videos daily on your homepage for the rest of 2023, as well as the latest in Minecraft news. I hope that's something you want to enjoy, but for now, I want to mention blocks given via the /give command, and so just to run down on all of those, because they are the most obvious secret blocks. There is the structure void, which is a fully non-there block, except for the way it connects to other things. There is the command block, which comes in 3 variants, and minecart, of course, which is absolutely hilarious. There is the barrier block, which is a block that exists like it's a real block, but can't be seen by survival players, but can be stood on, etc, etc. Can only be seen when holding another barrier. Very interesting thing. We've also got the jigsaw block, which is mostly used by Minecraft itself to piece together structures, but you can use it yourself if you really like to. There is the light block, which provides light without any physical block to be there whatsoever. There are the allow and deny blocks for map makers, very handy for making areas. The border block does something where it allows you to fly, it will allow you to fly over it, but it won't allow any survival player to go above or below it. It's effectively a wall that goes all the way to the ceiling. It's made for map makers as well, and the same is true for the structure block. All of these are not really secret blocks, they're just kind of hidden behind the /give command, you know, /give toycat, a structure block, and the reason for that is because this means that only, you know, serious players can play around with these. But even if you knew about all of those, there are some blocks that you probably didn't consider you can build with in creative, and allow me to go through them today. So the first, the most interesting one, by the way, this is my jukebox woodland mansion, very high quality design, I know you agree. The very first example is interesting because the mushroom block was not found in creative for many, many years. This is a mushroom, a giant mushroom I should say, and they spawn naturally in Minecraft, as well as being able to be made by bone milling a mushroom, and yet when you find one in the wild, you'd get a brand new block which wasn't in the creative inventory before. However, now, as of recent updates, you can type in mushroom and you'll find 4 types of mushroom block. This is therefore no longer a creative only block, except wait a minute, take out each and every single one of these, right? Place them down and then give them a look, and you'll realize something very interesting. The red mushroom block is red all the way around. The mushroom stem is stem all the way around. The brown mushroom block, as you might guess, is brown all the way around, and then this mushroom block is on the inside all the way around. However, when you grow mushrooms for real, they look more like this. They have sides which are externally facing, which are meant to be like this, and then they have internally facing sides. So, for instance, this block right here is going to be kind of like spongy on all textures, besides the top and the, I guess not even on the bottom. For instance, actually, are they meant to be like this on the bottom? Whatever. Anyway, either way, you can see that they have brown mushroom texture on some sides, and they have mushroom textures on others. The same is true if you look at a red mushroom, which we'll do right now. Even though the game acts like there is a mushroom stem and a mushroom block, there is actually different varieties of it, depending on where on the mushroom you are. You cannot pick up these blocks with pick block. As you can see, this is a really interesting type of block right here. It's red mushroom on the top, but it looks like cake on the bottom. You could do something interesting with this if you could tile this, perhaps, but you cannot do that unless you use a different command. So /give will not allow you to do this, but by typing /setBlock, this is a different command altogether, you can place on your block, say, a mushroom block, which again, this does exist in Minecraft, the brown mushroom block, for example, but by making a different tile data, you can make a very different block. So this is the brown mushroom you can access with creative. Again, you've got the most powerful game mode in Minecraft, but this is the brown mushroom block you can create by using the setBlock command. If we do mushroom block 1, it looks like this. So I think mushroom 1 is 2 sides. This one side that's the other. But if you want to make your own custom mushrooms that look like this and have them be actually accurate, you're going to need to use these secret blocks. There are all sorts of other things you can do with this. For example, I use the red mushroom block 3 right here to do something you can't do in normal creative, which is make a wall that looks like something on this side and something very else on this one. I think it's incredibly interesting that if you view this from these 2 sides, it looks like an incredibly different wall to if you view it on these 2 sides. There are very few textures in Minecraft Minecraft which are asymmetrical, and these ones are only accessible by using commands which place the blocks in the world. They can't be given to the player, they are solely versions which exist via placing with commands, which is a weird version to talk about, but it is a thing that can happen. For another fun example, here is a classic structure in Minecraft, right? The Nether portal. Everyone knows how to make one of these, and so given that you can do it in creative, much easier than survival, apparently getting it slightly wrong if you're me, but this is something that you can do if you want to make a real nice portal and light it up, and wow, look at that, I've now got something which can take me to another dimension. And if you're in creative, something interesting happens. You can see these blocks individually, but they can't be pick blocked, and if you try to remove any piece of obsidian, or any one of these, it breaks the entire portal. Just to show you both those examples, you cannot have in Minecraft Creative a Nether portal without having all of the blocks there, which are prerequisites, which isn't very fun in my opinion. However, again, the exact same thing happens where even though Minecraft won't let you have a portal and remove the outside or the inside, if you want to, for example, make Pevernortal, God knows why this is so popular, what you need to do is you need to use, again, the set block command to specifically set a block, so we'll set this one like 2 blocks below me, to a portal block, which looks like that. And now, wow, we've got a portal block over there. We go up a little bit. We've got a portal block over there too. We go down a little bit, and then we've got a portal block over there. Do you see that? We're slowly starting to build out of these portal blocks, and these portal blocks won't be, oh, wow, they are broken when you break an obsidian next to them. Well, that was not what I was expecting at all, actually. Today I learned portal blocks. So I made this one by using the fill command. By the way, Minecraft doesn't mind you setting block as portal, but it doesn't seem to want you to fill a portal block in there, which is kind of strange. But I did it anyway, and so now I wonder, will this whole thing break if I place an obsidian next to it? Oh, a whole layer does. Man, okay, you know what, this is... I see why they don't give you this block in creative, but I'm also incredibly confused about what I'm doing here. I think I'm just making... Oh yeah, this is fun, okay. So now, because of the gap spacing, it means you can make stuff like this. And isn't that fascinating? I think it is. Creative block, which is not very widely known about, is the portal block. And, you know, while we're talking about portals, of course we have to say the exact same thing is true for the end portal. So, if instead of typing portal, you type end_portal. By the way, I feel so sorry for people playing on controllers or on phones, where getting these blocks is like much more of a nightmare. But yeah, if you want, you can build yourself a portal. And yeah, these blocks are very, very odd. Obviously, you can kind of create these yourself by using end portals just like this, because unlike the Nether portal, the end portal has much less like behavior inside of it. So here's something fun you might not have known. If you build an end portal, which you can do in creative like so, when you remove the frame, okay, I guess they've patched that since I said that. Well, I guess it's a very good thing I'm making this video, because you can only have an end portal while you have end portal frames. This is actually, for a fun example, one of the very few blocks in Minecraft which has the different sided texture thing. On the top, it's got this very crazy, trippy look into space and atoms bouncing around it, etc. Whereas if you go underneath an end portal, maybe you've done this, maybe you haven't, you'll see this is what it looks like. You would only ever know it was there based on the end portal frame. Because hypothetically, you could do something like this. You might be saying, like, what, Toycat? But allow me to show you what I mean. This is 3 stacks of end portals. The way they interact with each other is actually very confusing to my eyes. Indeed. Oh god, what am I looking at? Do you see this? It's like like looking at an optical illusion, except not at all. Anyway, so if you break a few of them, it makes it even more confusing, actually. But yeah, you can have blocks which are visible only from above. Even when you go slightly to the side of them, they vanish altogether. Isn't that trippy? Yes, it is. But you can't build of these blocks, and apparently now you can't even have them without the frames, so it's good to know about. And did you know I just beat Minecraft? In creative, it's real hard to do this. Actually, you know, should we take a tangent? Do you want to see something fun? Do you want to see my speed run of Minecraft, but it's in creative mode? Right now, the record for survival is, oh, it's a few minutes, but let me show you how powerful creative mode is. Okay, so I'm about to do a speed run on hard difficulty using truly the hardest difficulty of all, creative mode. And get ready for this. I am gonna show you my speed. Ooh, I'm ready for that timer to begin. The moment I take my first action is when it goes, and we're in. Okay, let's go. You're into the Nether. Okay, oh, there's a delay there. And what's that? Have I just beaten Minecraft? Yes, I have. did you know all it takes is 2 commands to beat Minecraft, and they're actually the same command? Because you might not know this, but an end portal in the end is actually the same. It's the reverse of an end portal in the overworld. It is a portal that takes you back to there, which is why this works in both directions. It's actually pretty cool. The end is a fun dimension. Maybe we need more dimensions and more portals, which we can only access in creative, but for now, I think that works just fine. Speaking of things that work just fine, but actually don't, do you see how this is a... I thought that was a mountain. Never mind. Imagine this was a mountain for the sake of my... Wait, imagine that's a mountain in the distance. Don't imagine that's a mountain. Imagine this is a mountain. So imagine you're looking at a mountain, right? There are blocks found in that mountain, and indeed in strongholds, called monster eggs. You might know them as silverfish blocks, but sometimes you'll be mining the stone, and you'll run across a silverfish. Wow, I want to place these blocks down myself for my worlds. So what's weird is these blocks used to exist on the console edition, but have not existed anywhere else since. You cannot place down a monster egg by going into the creative inventory. I feel like they definitely used to exist in here. Like, where are they now? Like, where are the monster egg based blocks? Like, I'm so sure at some point you could do this in Minecraft, but I double checked, I triple checked. The only way to place down a monster egg is the same set block, and then you got to do all of that stuff. Why is that the case, though? I mean, why do I have to place down all the different variants of it? It's very, very odd. It's also very odd that they all count as the same block. So Monster Egg 0 is this. Monster Egg 1 is obviously this. And then you can continuously just like raise up the numbers. Isn't that interesting? These all count as monster eggs, even though they look like very different blocks. There's got to be some way to use this to your advantage. If you are a creative guy who likes to do fill commands, all of these free blocks, even though they're very different, would all be replaced by the same fill command if you wanted to overwrite them. So you could use this to your advantage. I don't know how. Oh, infested. Oh no. Is that why? Okay, here's an example of something where Minecraft parity made me realize what an idiot I am. While I was pick blocking these, it turns out you can find them in the creative inventory. They're called infested stone brick. They're not with the original variants. There is a whole separate... It's in here somewhere. There's a whole separate pile of these in nature, I guess it would be. There's stone. No? Okay, here it is. Infested stone, right next to the monster spawner. And yeah, why is it called something different on Bedrock and Java? If Bedrock is really happy with its version of the name, why is it that to place this down, you have to call it Monster Egg, except when it's the Deep Slate version, because all of these blocks here, besides the Deep Slate, are Monster Eggs. This is called Infested Deep Slate, both in the game and in the code. Maybe you're just not meant to look at the code name, but if that's true, then why is it that they allow us to use the /give command, and they force us to use that to get various technical blocks? Minecraft is confusing if you think about it too hard, so instead of thinking about it too hard, how about we go to the next block, this one over here, monster spawners. So it's basically when you place them down, they have nothing in there. The only way to get a mob in there is to use a spawn egg. You can place any mob in there, including the skeleton or the zombie horse. So the skeleton horse is technically not a particularly unique mob, but the zombie horse is a really interesting one, which does not exist in any survival aspect, but you can find right there. However, both these mobs do have spawn eggs, so creative players should be able to spawn them naturally, but what if there were mobs in Minecraft that didn't have spawn eggs? I mean, the classic example of this would be the Wither or the Ender Dragon. You can spawn in Wither skeletons, but they think it's a bit too crazy to go for those things, and so yeah, if you wanted to summon one of those, you type in summon, and then you can get those going. However, what if I was to say there were extra mobs you can only get your hands on by doing weird things no Minecraft player should? Because in Bedrock, usually if you wanted to, on Java, spawn a zombie with full diamond enchanted armor, etc., you could do that. On Bedrock, there is no, there's no way to spawn special versions of things, so a zombie can spawn in as a zombie. You can pick his spawn position if you want to, like, I don't know, 20 blocks in front of me or behind me. You can pick where they spawn, but you can't pick how they spawn. You just have to accept them how they are, which means that you can do some clever stuff yourself to find mobs that you otherwise can't. So there is a 1 in 100 chance of your spider spawning as a skeleton jockey, and because Minecraft used to have the Wither skeleton and the regular skeletons share a mob ID, it used to be that in the Nether, that skeleton would try to spawn as a Wither skeleton. So I had someone who was on the more technical side of Minecraft help me with some of the planning for this video, so I didn't miss something really obvious and then everyone would hate me. And they said it took 10,000 attempts for a Wither jockey to spawn. I think I've gone through that many spiders, and I haven't got one. Do they exist or not if they're 1 in every 10,000 is yet to be known? Did he test on the Java edition and I don't know? I also don't know. Should I know these things? Yes. Does that mean that I do? Apparently no. And the conclusion is, do wither skeleton jockeys exist? I might have made this one up, but you're gonna have to trust that I totally did not. Maybe here's some footage from my console edition video from several years ago when they were first discovered, and hopefully that's good for you. This is gonna be some footage for something else, you know, like Australia. Anyway, another mob you won't be able to find in the spawn egg inventory, obviously you can type in Guardian all you like, but you'll only find 2 versions of the Guardian. You won't find something very weird, which is the Elder Guardian Ghost. This is a real thing. You type that in, and it summons in a Elder Guardian Ghost. Except, of course, that doesn't mean anything, because the Elder Guardian Ghost is used only on a technical level to show that effect when you go near an Elder Guardian. You know, this one. And so when you summon this without having the exact right position for it, it summons in an Elder Guardian Ghost to show on the screen of no one because it hasn't been summoned incorrectly. Minecraft will say that it's been summoned, but to prove that it doesn't really work, here is my repeating command block. Let's try and summon in an Elder Guardian Ghost. I genuinely have no idea how this is gonna go. Oh, whoa, that's weird. They're all dying, clearly. Oh, if you want to make a noise generator. Look, they have, you can see their shadows. There is a shadowy Minecraft mob that you can, that is so strange. I cannot get over that one. Okay, so yeah, you can see there's a ghosty Elder Guardian here. I can't punch him. I can only see his shadows and hear his screams for help. And isn't that beautiful? Maybe that's the opposite of beautiful. But yeah, hopefully if we turn this off, we'll solve our problems. No, they're still dying. So it takes a while for some of them to. I have no idea. I'm more than a little confused about what I'm hearing, to be honest with you. Anyway, yeah, that's a fun fact you might not have known. By the way, if you're playing the Java edition, you also have access to the Giant, which was removed from Minecraft a very, 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 very long time ago. And you also have access to the Illusioner, which was going to be a part of 1.9, and then it wasn't, and I don't think it's a part of any updates since then. It's an interesting mod by itself. They're both accessible in Java. Can I cut myself off real quick to say here's another one I found after the video. Everyone knows that you can light fires using the flint and steel, and so the fire block, even though it's not in the creative inventory, it very much is a block, it is something that you can place down, and I decided not to include it because it felt like at that point, can't you start including lots of blocks like this? I mean, is fire even a block is something people genuinely argue about, but here's the fun thing, right? When you place fire with a flint and steel, this happens, slowly but surely. If, on the other hand, you use the set block command, you'll create, apparently, a field of fire that does the exact same thing. On Java, it does something different, but I guess I learned some valuable lessons about the weird things between Bedrock and Java that seemingly change that you wouldn't expect, like what happens when you place fire down like this. Technically, I need to mention in the same breath that you can do the exact same thing with Soulfire, so fun fact there, I guess. What are the secret mobs and blocks? Let's go through the rest of them, because they're all ones that you'd be like, well, does that really count? But I do need to mention them if we're going to have a comprehensive list. So this is a potato, and this is a diamond hoe. So did you know if you want to have a potato, you can have one, just like I do right here. If you want to have a hoed in the ground potato, you can only do that by placing them down like that. If you want to, even if you pick block this potato in the ground, it gives you one of these, but this means in creative, you literally have to hoe blocks if you want to have potatoes in them. This also, therefore, you can work out, must be true for pumpkins and for carrots and for everything else. If you want to have these blocks, you have to hoe them in the ground yourself, which I think, for potatoes and carrots, you can maybe argue isn't that big of a deal. But I would say that for, 100%, when you're talking about the pumpkin stems or the melon stems, these are somewhat interesting blocks. You could use them as decoration for something, right? Wait, here's my proof of that fact. As you can see, this is a very happy man. He's got like obsidian for eyes. Look how good my Minecraft building is. And then look at his little ears with the fun twizzly blocks on top. You wouldn't know that you could use these as building blocks unless you really think about it, and now you do. So yeah, the same thing applies to every single plant. There's beetroot, there's carrots, do we need to show all of these individually? Yes, we do, okay. It's also for wheat seeds, etc, etc. But then it also applies to things like furnaces. You can find the exclusive block, the lit furnace, as well as the exclusive block off the lit blast furnace, and they will just stay lit even though there's nothing inside of them till you alter them otherwise. This is really interesting as a light source in my opinion, because, you know, if it's nighttime, wow, they'd shine so bright. But yeah, you can find both of these blocks. You can also find, as a fun example, the redstone ore. Everyone knows the redstone ore, very fun block. But did you know there is a lit version only available if you look for it like this? Wow, lit redstone deep slate ore. It exists like that until someone touches it and ruins it. There are all sorts of weird versions of blocks you wouldn't know existed. So yeah, I think I might ruin that now. But yeah, this is the version you can find by pick blocking this, but this is a version you can place down in the wild if you really want to. And I think this is fun for most blocks. Most blocks you might be able to expect, but the one that I think catches most people off is like, wait a minute, can you really use a piston arm? Why, yes, you can, and as you can see, it seems to create a piston block that doesn't otherwise exist. This is one of the strangest blocks I've ever encountered. You can pick block it and it will give you a, you know, the piston that you place down, but it's the exact opposite of a structure void or a barrier block or something like that, where it physically exists in terms of the black box, but it doesn't exist in any other sense of the word. I mean, you can also use it to place blocks on the side of if you place downwards. That is a very counterintuitive behavior, right? Like placing down under a furnace and then having it be like that. But yeah, you'll also remove the sticky piston void, it seems. Technically, along the same line of logic, there is placing the lever on the side of nothing. Usually you can only do this onto a solid surface, but using set block you can place it on the air, and the same is true for the ladder, which as you can see, wow, isn't that fun? It works on both sides when you place it on nothing. I think that's very fun personally. Maybe you disagree. Oh, it doesn't. That's me auto jumping. I think it's very, very fun what you can do with different commands, and I guess that's what this video is all about. Minecraft is a very interesting game which has multiple commands with different sets of blocks for them. The creative inventory has one set of blocks. The set block command has a different set of blocks, including the portal and including you know, these lit blocks right here. And then the fill command can be used for all sorts of different things as well, including replacing things that exist. And then finally, on top of all of that, there are different mobs which can only be found in all sorts of different methods. Minecraft is a very strange game. Actually, also, just for fun here, even if you're playing on a device that can't be inventory edited, there are also inventory editing blocks that you can access because Minecraft Bedrock has something called the Marketplace, and so if you go to a map called Hollydale, you look next to the spawn, you'll find some invisible bedrock. This is like a barrier block in every way, except you can't even tell that it's there. There's no block outline like there would be if it was a barrier block, and so you can clearly see that there's something here. I can stand on it, but you can't even place blocks on the side of it. You can just see there's a block there that does not work and that I can stand on top of, and which I can continuously place with if I really want to. Oh, you can't even place some visible bedrock and invisible bedrock. You can just have it right there, but you cannot get this by giving yourself invisible bedrock. No such block does exist. You cannot set block this in the wild. You have to access this through inventory editing. Apparently, you'll also find a random guy joining your game, and I figured he might be impressed with what I had to say, so also, wow, young Moss 18 must think it's crazy too. But look at this. I'm slowly but surely removing this. Actually, wait, let's see if we can fuse this stranger right here. I told him to come stand here, and I think he's like very confused at why he can't walk this way. Oh, is he gonna work it out? You just gotta jump. You just gotta jump. You can. There we go. See? Okay, let's see if he has any thoughts. Yeah, bud. Now the question is, do you think he knows what block this is by looking at it? Because if he does, then I think that was the most sarcastic, yeah, bud. But if he's like, whoa, what is that? Is that a stone pressure plate you're holding onto? That would be something else, right? Yeah, I mean, that's an answer to my question too. Aha! He thinks it's a barrier block, but it's not. If I give him a barrier block, he'll realize very quickly that it can't be barriers. I assume. Oh, is it? Wait, can items fall through the invisible bedrock? Oh, that's absolutely hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna hand that a little bit better this time. Okay, there we go. There we go. I don't know how that just happened. See, he's holding the barrier, but he's not seeing all the barrier blocks that we're standing on. Wow. Do you see how mind-blown young Moss 18 is? That's how mind-blown I would be if I saw this for the first time. And then also, funnily enough, if you want another block which cannot be found in any creative mode means or any command, usually only with inventory editing, download the Toycat Let's Play world on the marketplace, and you'll find not only at spawn are there these weird enchanted compasses. I mean, any enchanted, like they're not actually enchanted, but this is something you won't usually find. Also, books and quills, they're an item you can't find in creative inventory. You have to create them yourselves, which again, very strange stuff. But also, if you go to the Bank of Toycat, which is just next door, one of my iron doors turned into an update block, which, you know, I use to make lots of fun things. But yeah, if you just switch into creative, you can use that as many times as you like. And so, fun fact, different Minecraft marketplace maps with questionable QA standards. I'll be honest, with my map, it was solely like, I wanted to leave that block there, hoped no one would notice, and no one did, and now you can download it on the marketplace. But Hollydale is a free map you can get as well. There are all sorts of weird blocks that you shouldn't be able to access in Minecraft, and sometimes you can. This has been my guide to accessing the ones I know about, and it's kind of the proof that Minecraft doesn't have a consistent set of where blocks are available. When you're playing creative, or maybe if you're playing creative with max, permissions given to yourself, you should have access to all of the blocks, in my opinion. Once you have add operator privileges, you should be able to access every single thing in one menu. Even if that's not a creative, nice menu like this, it should be the /give menu or the /set block menu. Having everything have a different set of blocks makes it very confusing to know exactly where and what you can do. And ultimately, my point is that, yeah, things in Minecraft are confusing, but if you want to make Pevernortal, or you want to make the weirdest one-way visible blocks, then you can do that, and you can do that by following the thing you learn in this guide. And if you disagree, then I don't know, I don't know if I recommend anything to you besides the joy of going through a big stack of nether portals and just spinning around and seeing the trippy optical illusion. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy the video, because I'll see you in the end. Goodbye. Get it? I said I'd see you in the end, and here I am at the end of the video, underneath the end. Okay, goodbye. Let's hope I was recording. Yeah, it was, that's good.